Rumors are that allegedly behind the scenes, Bravo is extremely worried about their Real Housewives universe. What's going on? Well, I have some new information that may answer that question and more right after this. What's up, kinfolk? And welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, do me a favor and get notified, so you'll know whenever I upload new videos to the channel. All right, kinfolk, come on into the house. We have a lot to talk about, and it centers around rumors that allegedly behind the scenes, Bravo executives are extremely worried about the future of their housewife universe. What's going on? Well, I have some new information that may answer all of those questions and more, and here it goes. Sources say that allegedly executives at Bravo are worried about the future of their housewife universe. Behind the scenes, it's bad, said the source. Allegedly, executives are scrambling trying to figure out ways to save their biggest financial entity from failing financially. The source continued. For the exception of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Potomac, and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, ratings for the other franchises have been horrible. Same-day ratings are showing executives and producers that something has to be done to stop the financial bleeding. No one is watching these shows on the level in which they need to be watching them in order to consider the franchise a success, said the source. To put it in perspective, Real Housewives' lowest rated episode from season 15 is still 3 times higher than the other franchises not mentioned highest rated episode of their current season. So the question is, what is the issue? Can the network fix it? Well, an industry insider said, most likely not. The network has 2 fundamental issues that they need to work out. First, continued the source, behind the scenes, it seems to be a housewife burnout among executives and producers. Producers seem to have given up on producing great reality TV. But why? The insider explained. When former heavyweights like Nene, Teresa, Phaedra, Lisa Rinna, Kim Richards, and Lisa Vanderpump and others were on their shows, making reality TV was super easy because they carried their franchises. They knew how to make good reality TV for their producers. This oftentimes covered for lazy producing, which allegedly made producers even more lazy about doing their jobs. So, when these ladies left their franchises, the network was stuck with mediocre producers producing their shows, and with producers who only knew how to produce their jobs one way. Secondly, continued the insider, the lack of accountability behind the scenes has made it increasingly difficult for the network to make the right decisions. Executives blaming producers, producers blaming cast, and cast members blaming each other. And with the closest and really only viable reason for all of these issues is that no one is taking accountability for their actions or lack of. The closest thing we came to accountability being acknowledged, said the source, was when Kenya did her interview with Carlos King, airing out many of the behind-the-scenes issues that her and allegedly some of her current cast members had with the decisions being made by production and the network. Sources say that the network has until the end of the year to get it together, or they could see a total collapse of their biggest entity at their network, their housewives universe. Now, kinfolk, this is a lot of information that came across my desk, and for the past couple of weeks, I have been getting updated nonstop about the current situation over at Bravo, not only with Real Housewives of Atlanta, but with the other Housewives franchises as well. And so just to kick things off, kinfolk, I definitely feel like this first reason is probably the primary reason why things are allegedly so bad with the housewife universe. And it's this. It's simply the blame game. Kinfolk, for the past 2 years, we have seen numbers for the Real Housewives of Atlanta fluctuate from good to bad and to great and then to just good and mediocre again. And just like clockwork, every time we get bad ratings or semi-horrible ratings for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, people start pointing the fingers. It's the cast, it's the producers, it's this person, it's that person. And no one can ever really seem to pinpoint what the real issue is. But as of late, though, kinfolk, I feel like most viewers, we have pretty much pinpointed the issue on producers not putting a good effort or putting a good foot forward when producing these ladies. And that's one part of the situation I really feel is the most telling. Why aren't the producers putting their best foot forward? Now, there have been some rumors of sabotaging the Real Housewives of Atlanta to make, Real Housewives of Potomac great. There have been other rumors suggesting that, production isn't the issue. It's the ladies not wanting to come to work and things of that nature. But when you look at the different franchises across the board who have lower ratings than Real Housewives of Atlanta and Real Housewives of Potomac and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it seems as if there is just a lack of good producing. And it leads you to believe the rumor that maybe the current producers are burnt out or are just one-trick ponies when it comes to producing these shows when they have a big name or an over-the-top character or cast member carrying the entire season, which I can see why it would make their job easier. Now, kinfolk, this is another part of this rumor that my sources say there's also a contributing factor to the reason why things are allegedly so bad in the housewife universe. And it's this. Sources say that allegedly producer egos have a lot to do with it. When Carlos King left Bravo in the Real Housewives of Atlanta universe, my sources are saying that he left a pretty big hole or void in the housewife universe that a lot of producers tried to fill. And unfortunately, a lot of producers simply could not fill that big void. Simply because Carlos understood what makes the ladies work. He understood how to corral the ladies around a common mission, and that's to make their franchises great. But unfortunately, it seems to be that there is an issue with producers and their egos. And their egos have contributed to them not really wanting to approach the ladies and say, hey, some of you all have been here longer than I have. What can I do as a producer to make the show great again? And my sources are saying that the egos of wanting to be the next Carlos King or wanting to be the magical unicorn at Bravo producing these housewives shows is not allowing them to do that. It's not allowing them to ask a Kenya or a Candy what needs to be done in order to make Real Housewives ratings go back to the 2 million mark. And my sources are saying that this is kind of across the board. People have, what my sources are saying, become very burnt out on the same regurgitated storylines that the ladies are giving us. And unfortunately, I do think that just falls back on the producers. Now, kinfolk, the next part of this rumor that I do feel is very believable, that my sources are saying that has been echoed behind the scenes for the past couple of years now, and it's this. There seems, kinfolk, to be a lack of meaningful casting. Viewers of Real Housewives of Atlanta have been saying this all along. It seems as if producers cannot get the new up-and-coming, wealthy, well-to-do, successful women in Atlanta to come do the show, which I understand because nowadays reality TV does take a bad rep. And those ladies probably do not want to ultimately endanger any of their husbands or family businesses and financial standing in their community or at their companies. So that makes sense. So with that being said, a lot of people are saying that means that producers should literally go back into the vault and bring back former cast members. But it seems like they are unwilling to do that. And it seems like the cast members they are deciding to go with just lack the magic that viewers are accustomed to seeing come from new cast members. To put it like Kenya, these ladies just simply are not being vetted very well. And then it also is the frustration of former housewives who only got 1 year and were given the boot, not given the opportunity to further develop themselves as a housewife. That has also frustrated cast members. So when you couple the lack of meaningful casting with producer egos, I could see how the network can find themselves in this predicament. Now, kinfolk, it's one last part of this rumor that I do feel like contributes overall to the issues that the network is currently having allegedly with their housewife franchises across the board, and not just with Atlanta. And it's this. It seems to be a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking when it comes to producers and the network, but more so with the producers. You know, a lot of people say that producers shouldn't listen to cast members because cast members are too emotional and can't make sound business choices. And, you know, I do agree with that when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to certain casting decisions of taking people off the franchise or putting people into the franchise. I agree. Fans become too involved and they speak from a place of emotion and not a place for logic. But the issue is that, you know, fans have said at Housewives of Atlanta and Housewives of New York many of things as to why they are frustrated with the franchise. The only issue is that it seems that producers are allegedly doing the opposite of what the fans are asking them to do, which makes it very difficult for some fans to continue to support. Now, Real Housewives of Atlanta saving grace, Real Housewives of Potomac saving grace, and even Real Housewives of Beverly Hills saving grace is that these shows are considered legacy shows. For Atlanta and Potomac, those are the only two all-black cast member franchises. So there's always going to be excitement and intrigue with them and for them. When it comes to Beverly Hills, that's a heritage franchise as well, to where those viewers are locked in. They have become embedded and invested in those ladies' lives. So they're not going nowhere either. But unfortunately for a heritage franchise like Real Housewives of New York, we saw a complete cast reboot that allegedly behind the scenes metrics and data showed that fans simply just did not want to see happen. Yes, they wanted to see a couple of people booted and some new faces added. But when it came to their main staples, allegedly behind the scenes, the numbers proved that the majority of viewers wanted the staple cast members to stay put. It seems as if Bravo went the opposite direction, and then you saw Real Housewives of New York with these lackluster ratings. So, kinfolk, that is a lot to take in, but honestly, it's making a sense in a lot of ways. So it seems that producers are simply not making the best decisions for the future of the Housewife universe. But kinfolk, I want to know what you guys think. If you are to believe this rumor, because right now it's just speculation and alleged information, if executives are to be worried about the future of the Housewife universe, should they be worried because of this executive decisions, producer decisions, or should they be worried because of cast storyline decisions? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Alright, kinfolk, as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys over on the next one. Peace.